Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Hey, thank you for for wanting to speak with me.
Sure, sure.
That's
Um,
great.
First, congratulations on the well-deserved Emmy nomination.
Oh, thank you very much.
I mean, you came out. You're doing well. You got a good track record here. Coming your third season in, and you've already got three nominations and a win. Not bad.
I know, not crazy. Very crazy.
So you were nominated for the Ryan Gosling episode, which I think it's safe to say was one of the standout episodes of the season. A very strong season, I should know.
Yeah,
Um,
it definitely was a fun season and action packed. I feel like every show just there was something great about it.
what about, can you just walk me through? I mean, what about that episode in particular do you think was a standout for the season?
I think Ryan himself is just so likable and just gives off a great energy and just worked well with the cast and the writers and with myself and the entire crew. And he just had so much fun with it. And I think he just brought a different light to each piece. It was just, it was really cool.
The Beavis and Butthead sketch, easily one of the most popular sketches in probably the last few decades.
Yep.
Can you walk me through that sketch, what from development on through dress to air?
Yeah. So that sketch had been so the year I joined, I believe we tried to do that sketch with, I believe it was Oscar Isaac we were doing it with. And it didn't make it past it didn't make even make it to dress rehearsal because we ended up having too many sketches that week and we had to cut something. It was strong, I guess it just was on that line. And then they had tried it one other time before I joined them, and it didn't make it. And so when we were setting it up for this show, I thought it had a great possibility of making it. And just both Mikey and Ryan as Beavis and Butthead were just amazing, and it just turned into a classic immediately. And Heidi was a pro the entire time, and during dress rehearsal she cracked a little bit, and then for show she went down fast. But it turned out to be a great sketch.
I mean, I think even if she hadn't broken it, it would have been a successful
Oh,
sketch. But the audiences just eat that up, especially someone like Heidi who does not break easy.
right, yeah. Heidi, yeah, does not break easy. She's so professional and so like strong and wanting to, to perform at the best. And she's a pro. She's great.
Did you ever get any feedback from Mike Judge? I mean, he got his start on SNL years ago. I was wondering if you've
Oh,
heard anything back from him.
I don't know. Maybe the producers do, but yeah, I myself got my start at MTV, so I had some interaction with doing different Beavis and Butthead things throughout my career when I was at MTV. So that was a fun one to bring to life.
What else from that episode stands out to you?
Um, it started off strong, with Kate McKinnon, in the cold open with
Right.
Ryan in the encounter sketch. We sent Kate off with that sketch for her last episode, and then for her to come back for a little cameo during it, for the cold open. I just think it started off the show with a giant high, and the crowd was, loving every minute, and the cheers were loud and proud, and it was fun. It just turned into such a solid episode. And then the monologue with Emily Blunt, and we had a big musical number in that, and Ryan had a lot of fun with it, with portraying Ken or trying to send Ken away. It just started really strong and just kept the momentum, and then just kept getting better and better.
So I want to talk about your career a little bit. You joined SNL. It wasn't not only in its 47th season, which is, I mean, joining any show that far into its run is got to be daunting. But then you were mid-season. So I'm gonna and you've done. I mean, you've had a lot of live television experience, but I'm curious what the learning curve was for you joining an SNL.
We took it slow as I came in. So I was there at the beginning of season 47. And I watched John do direct two episodes and just got to see, the chaos of how it all went down, and how, like you said, the show's been on for 47 years. it's a well-oiled machine. It moves quickly, it moves fast. And so it was just like, okay, how am I going to jump on?
Right.
How am I going to hang on? And I've done every part of the show before. It's just at a different level where everything is just the time constraint is a huge is it's just looming over you. There's not a lot of time to do all these wonderful things. And so it's just moving quick. And, I started my career at MTV where, we didn't have a lot of money most times. And then we did a lot of live television, and that itself was moving quick. And I think it was a great starting ground for me to just learn how to maneuver quickly. Okay, great. I have this idea. Wait, so and so is not going to be here. Rip up the format. This is what we're going to do. So I'm used to change, and I'm used to thinking quick on my feet. So I feel like that's a strong skill I have, and it applies well with this show. So getting to see Don do this for two episodes before I started to jump in was, I don't know, priceless in a way. And just like, you learn so much by watching. And it was great to see his interaction with people and writers and producers and how he did things. And then as slowly as I started to come in, I just would implement ways of how I do things. And it was great. Like, I think the first episode that I started directing some sketches, I think they gave me 4 sketches, and then no idea if my sketches were going to make it to air or not. And then the next episode, I gained like another sketch or two, and then I took over music, and then I started doing update. And so by November, end of November, beginning of December, I was directing the show, and then I had Don there as a consultant, which was great. I mean, like, how often do you get to do something where you can be like, "Hey, what'd you think?" Or,
Right.
"Hey, give me a thought here. What would you do in this situation?" So it was just a really nice way to take over the reins of the show. And yeah, once it started, I never thought twice about turning back. It's like, here we go,
Was
strapped
there,
in.
was there anything about the format of the show that you really had to kind of sink your teeth into to learn?
No, I mean, again, I guess it's everything I've done before, just in a supersized show of it. So I wasn't afraid of any of it. The comedy, I've had a lot of experience with at Ellen.
Right.
Learned a lot from her, and then the live portion of it, I'm not afraid of that. Setting up a sketch. I've worked at MTV doing that. I worked at Ellen doing that. So it's all familiar to me. It's just at a different speed.
You're only the fifth director in the history of the show, which is unheard of. It's a show that's been on for almost 5 decades.
I
I
know,
mean, that's remarkable, first of all.
it's
Um,
crazy.
what is it you think each director, what does a director bring to a show like SNL?
I think it's I'm a very collaborative director. I like to work with the writers and bring their ideas to life, and I think we get along well. And often I'll pitch different ideas, or try to enhance, or sometimes it goes in a completely different direction. So I feel like all the directors there before, we've all been patient because things always change. I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I don't know. I unfortunately never got to meet Dave Wilson, but I'm friendly with Beth. Beth McCarthy Miller was at MTV when I first started. She was
Okay.
our senior director, and getting to watch her work when I was just starting out as a production assistant was just amazing. And then watching her take off with her career, and I was like, if I could have a smidge of her success, I'm gonna do okay. Um, but yeah, but what great role models. And it is insane that there's only been 5 in such a long period of time now we're coming up to 50, right?
What was
But
your dynamic with working with Lauren? I mean, you're the director, but it's ultimately his show. What was working with Lauren, right out of the gate?
100%, it's his show, and I just want to make him happy. And I'm honored that he picked me to take over the show. Lauren, he is so smart and so incredibly quick too about his ideas and changes and just implementing them, and just he's a part of it. I feel like often, sorry, I'm going everywhere now. Often people will ask me, he's probably not a part of the show anymore, is he? And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding? He is the show. It is
Right.
his show. And it's like, okay, what can I do to make this better for you? And yeah, he's very much involved in every part.
I think most fans have a pretty good idea of the weekly schedule by now, and it's talked about often. But can you walk me through your schedule for the week?
Yeah. Usually Monday night there's a pitch meeting that I go in for, and the writers and the producers, we're all in Lauren's office, and it's kind of like a meet and greet with the host, and they all pitch a crazy idea, like, lighten up the mood for the week, and just go from there. And then Tuesday, I'm usually work from home and deal with any creative for music. So music artists sometimes will have big creative ideas. So sometimes I've got, phone calls, emails, stuff like that, Zooms, to work on the creative for that. And then what Tuesday, the writers are doing their big overnight write, and
Right.
dreaming up all the crazy ideas. And so Wednesday morning around 10 a.m. is when they start all popping up on the server, and I start reading them. And there's anywhere from 35 to 50 sketches, and I try to give each one as much as attention as the other because they're all important. And it's literally writing down your notes as quickly as you can. Okay, I need a stunt man for this. I need a choreographer. I need a trap door. I need a
Mm.
breakaway window. And it's just writing down all the different elements that you would need to make this sketch successful, and then moving on to the next one. I go in the and then I go into the office, and then we have read through around 4 o'clock. And usually that starts a little late, so sometimes it's like 5 or 5:30. And sometimes you see things during the read through with the cast and with our host that you didn't see before, so you're taking a few more notes. And then I start to meet with the production design team, and we talk about where we could shoot each sketch. And then we get dished off to Lauren's office, where they're sitting with the host and the other producers and the writers, and we're talking about what sketches are moving forward. And Lauren often has a strong opinion of what he wants to move forward, but he consults, with everyone in the room and with the host, especially if there's something's on the bubble. And then I guess my job in that time is to make sure we have the room for everything. And so sometimes it's, like, hey, I don't know whether we can fit that and that. And it's, figuring out quickly what needs to change. Then the whole rundown is created. And then I go back to the production design department, and we start laying it out on the floor, where each sketch is going to happen. Sometimes the production designer has a strong opinion about how they want the set to look. Sometimes sometimes it needs to change depending on what the writer needs, and then the writer comes by, and we trade all our ideas and make sure we're all on the same page. And that's just Wednesday, and then and so then Thursday, after hopefully a good night of sleep, we all wake up. Things are already starting to change. I have a pre-production meeting with like graphics and my technical director, my supervising producer, a bunch of people, and we talk about how we're gonna what is needed for each sketch, and if we need extra rehearsal time and that kind of thing. And then I move on to music rehearsal. So whoever our artist is or our band, we do that. We rehearse them. And then after that, we move on to our first set of promos for the week. And then we begin our sketch rehearsals. And we try to do anywhere from 3 to 4 sketches on Thursday. And we pick the ones that are not, we try to do the ones that aren't like musical numbers, or the ones where we might not need a full set, or one where we have a lot of choreography or we need a stunt person. So it's picking I never want to say easier on this show because nothing is easy. We pick we pick the sketches that would work well on Thursday, and then Friday, um, we tackle the other half, and so we generally start anywhere from 1 to 2, and then sometimes we're working till like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then by that evening, all the producers and Lauren have seen the sketches on their feet. And then sometimes the order of the rundown changes. And then Saturday morning, we come in and it's like Christmas morning. It's magic. Like all these sets are out on the floor. They're being painted, they're being dressed, wallpaper, what have you, painting the floors. There's fans blowing, the band is rehearsing at the same time. And then in a few short minutes we're out there rehearsing again, and at that point on Saturday, the first set of rehearsals, you're trying to make it through the sketch from top to bottom without starting, and then also, by the way, accommodating all the changes that have happened.
Sure.
So from that sketches, birth on Tuesday night to Saturday, it's constantly changing over and over, depending on how it did in rehearsal, or notes from producers, notes from Lauren, notes from other writers. It's amazing, just the evolution of a sketch sometimes. And then Saturday, after the rehearsals in the morning, we have dress rehearsal in front of a full audience, which really gives you a great sense of what's happening. And then in between dress and air, sometimes there's only like 45 minutes to implement changes of what's moving forward. And now we're going to do it.
Does that
Ah.
how did you feel about going? I mean, 'cause the schedule's probably a little more hectic than I would imagine. Some of the Ellen's more, I would more of a 9 to 5, I imagine for you. Were you a little hesitant to go into a schedule that's is on, traditional as
Um,
SNL?
I guess I started in untraditional,
Okay.
and then I went to banking hours, and then now I'm back in untraditional. So I wasn't afraid of it, but yeah, it's like my body has learned to sleep in again,
Right.
especially on Sunday and Monday, just to recover. But yeah, it's almost like you're training to be a professional TV athlete in some weird way. How do I stay awake? Uh,
So the 50th is coming up. I imagine
yeah.
you've got to be working already on a special. Do we know, can you give any information about what you have planned, or when it may be, or are you guys not on working on that just yet?
I think everything's still under wraps,
Sure.
and yeah, there's a lot of closed door meetings on what's happening, and it should be an exciting year. I mean, like it's I mean, I get overwhelmed just thinking, I grew up watching this show. I was a huge fan of it, and I still am a fan of it. And now to be working on it and to be a part of this, it feels incredible. And I don't know. I hope we do a lot of fun things, and we'll see what everyone dreams up.
Well, thank you again, and congratulations again on the nomination, and good luck.
Thank you so much. It was so nice seeing you, Jeff.
Take care. Thanks a lot.
All
Bye-bye
right,
now.
you too. Take care.